Block Training Chapter 2, Macrocycle Overview. Okay, let's take a big picture of this idea of block training. So I've laid out what looks like a neat, clean 6-cycle training session. But understand these are not going to end up being traditional 4-week blocks. I try to give some insight of the work recovery here, but even that is just guidance. One of the things and challenges with block training, it's a little more fluid, both in the idea of what you manage as a coach and scheduling. So with that being said, I laid it out as 6 weeks where you have 3 weeks of foundation. Now, this foundation might not be needed because, yes, there's some things we can do to kind of make it more block training like and slightly better prepare the athlete for 4, 5, and 6, which is going to be classic block training. But if the athlete's already in very good shape, you're later in your base, they've just done a traditional base foundation build, that all works too. We really don't have to have a block or a foundation specific to block training. And the reality of that, the reality of why I left it in there, don't forget though, when you do move to block training, it takes a certain amount of fitness. You really need to have your CTL, the rec racer, 70 to 75 plus, the elite racer, I don't know, 115, 120 plus, as I stated earlier. So during this foundation phase, even though I put it in the overview to remind us to be in shape before you block train, this is just general fitness. Now I'm going to show you an example of block training during the foundational phase, but you could do traditional like we do in base camp. You can do undulating. There's a bunch of things you can do. The key point is they come out of those early 2 to 3 cycles with good aerobic fitness, ready to train harder. Now, the traditional block training format, this becomes the specific block training. We're going to use a linear block training demonstration here in a way that I like to do it. And by specific, remember what I meant. It's general specific race prep, preparing for a heavy race season. All right, the next couple of chapters, I'm going to dive into examples of each of this. So it's going to get a little complicated, but I think it'll be fun. Next chapter is chapter 2, lesson 1, cycle breakdown and examples for foundation.